Y'all to another episode of the Culture Report. Of course, we got Ladarius on this side. We got special co-host Rashad. Anything to say?
No. I just hope y'all enjoy it, man. No cap. We're gonna make this shit as funny as possible. Not on purpose. Like that's just us. That's the funny part.
So first things first, I think we need to go ahead and finish this discussion that we was talking about earlier.
Which one?
So,
the one that you didn't want them to hear?
Yeah.
Bro.
But yeah, I think honestly, put it like this. Needless to say, took my L this weekend, y'all. I'm really mad, kind of hurt. I wanted to cry, you know what I'm saying? SpongeBob me. But yeah, we probably out the playoffs. I ain't even gonna stunt. Like,
yes, sir. Hey, can I be honest? The real reason I'm on this show is to do this for everybody, you know. See this right here?
Bulldogs.
You see, the Bulldogs run deep. You can meet me between the hedges, all that roll over tide, all of that, you know what I'm saying?
But I'm not gonna lie, like, I guess kind of to pick up back up with what we were talking about earlier, you remember it was like, with the, you know, elimination of both series games, we're going to the playoffs for, you know, almost, 5 years now? At this point, bro, we need to go ahead and expand the playoffs. Like, 4 teams is not enough anymore.
If you want to do more than 4 teams, I think the problem will come in is like, how would you pick the other teams that go? Like,
no longer do a committee. It's solely based off of record, like at this point, because
I mean,
like,
you can't do that because you're gonna have a whole bunch of
no, but also
teams. Like, there's gonna be a lot of teams that can go undefeated. You can have teams that are in AI that go undefeated. Are you stating that they should get to go?
No.
Like,
what I'm saying is you have to be, once again, like at least Division I, and not only that, still keep the bowls and let those bowls kind of push out, you know, that bowl is going to determine whether you had a true undefeated season or not. You get what I'm saying?
I understand that. I mean, that makes sense, but also,
because, I mean, that's kind of what we're dealing with right now. What, like, a lot of people thought, like, ooh, Alabama's going to be in there for so long. And then it's like, you know, one game, and now we're not. It took care of itself. So it's like, I mean, we still got Penn State to take care of themselves, and Ohio State, LSU, and Georgia. Like,
I do agree with you bringing the bowls back. But so when it comes
for
to
purpose, 2 bowls.
Exactly. So when it comes to how I personally believe that they should set those up, I say that within each conference, just like they do the divisional,
yeah,
they should take the top 4 from each conference. So you're gonna have 4 teams from the Big 12, 4 teams from the Pac-10.
Yeah.
Got them hoes backwards.
Pac-10, Big 10,
all of that,
ACC.
SEC. So if you do that, that's gonna comprise about, like, either way, it's going to come out to a number that's going to break back down to 2-on-2.
Yeah.
But even if you want to go deeper into that, you can take these 2 conferences and pair them against these 2, and then, like, really break that shit down, and then the top 2 from here go and play different teams from this conference. So you're really mixing it up more. It's like luck of the draw at that point.
Yeah. Because I think right now it's like the committee still using votes is kind of, I mean, it's kind of played out.
Biased.
Like, I hate to say it, but it's like, especially being a fan of the SEC, which, I mean, you know, me and you are, it's kind of like, dang. Same time, honestly, don't it get boring just watching the same folks?
The SEC doesn't, as I was talking to the guy from work or whatever, he stated that the SEC kind of owns networks.
Facts.
It's no cap, but like he was saying, that SEC kind of owns certain networks, meaning they're shutting down the views and the
right.
players. Think about it. So over there in Oregon, they're probably still seeing SEC. They're seeing their because it's there. Well, over here, we're not really getting to see teams like Oregon, like different conferences really play. Like, we see the SEC play because we're in the SEC. But even with that said, like, the SEC has so much pull on different networks and different
right. The recruiting is just different. Like,
yeah, like, it's just, I would say that if you want to see other teams play, you're gonna have to do it yourself. You can't rely just on what you see on television.
But once again, like, think about it like this. Kind of what I said was, you know, since we've kind of evolved even in how things are organized, you know, some of those, like how Marcus brought up, you know, some of these schedules are made 5 years in advance. Okay, we'll watch that. Just like how we don't have bowl series.
Why should we bop all those schedules?
Yeah, restart the schedules. Like, if you cannot play at least 2 undefeated teams within your next season, like, I mean, look, that's why Alabama, you know what I'm saying? It's like, once you start narrowing down the competition more and more and more, it's just like, it gets to the point where it's like, okay, I've played literally everybody, and now they're hope on a reset. But I don't know at the same time.
I agree with that. But I don't want to be like Stephen A. Smith and be like, they need to do this and that. And
they need?
Like, I cannot just say that they need to get this done, because if you just kind of rush into something like that, that's going to create all types of different controversy. Like, take what's going on right now. My fault. Nope, I ain't trying to break the table. Take what's going on right now, for example. Teams out west in California are legalizing the fact that college players cannot be paid. That's just demolished the NCAA. They don't know which way to move. They're flipping. You know what I'm saying? They're flopping like fish right now. So my question is, where do you stand on that? Like, I just out of curiosity, let's argue. That's the topic. Let's argue. Where do you guys stand on that? I want to know how you think it's going to work. What are your views? What ways do you think they would have to, not just the NCAA, but players and parents, and how do you think it's really going to change the structure of college, getting to college, high school, down to being a child?
So you remember the conversation that we had about LeVar?
Yeah. See, honestly, I think it depends on what sport, because basketball and football are 2 different sports. And, like, the way, so, like, for basketball, you can go overseas and still get paid. But in football, you really don't have that option.
You got CFL, and that's
pretty much it.
That's Canadian Football League, and they don't, I don't even think
they're like WNBA.
You got to be damn near, you still got to be like 18, damn near graduate, you know what I'm saying? As a basketball player, as a freaking 15, 14, 13, 12-year-old, you can go overseas and start getting paid. That's ridiculous to me.
And I know that they said, like with Melo, for example, like he actually did forego payment so that he would stay in amateur status. So
but
it's kind of like
his own shoe, though.
Did that actually come out?
He was still wearing them.
What I'm saying is
legally, no lie. Legally, if they did not come out to the public, that is just a custom shoe that is made for him.
So I'm saying it's like a Nike ID,
that's
right?
A present.
Or
yeah,
no?
But like it didn't have no Nike, no nothing. It's his shoe, and it's like it's his brand. Like the argument is his like brand, and it's not like a big brand, so it's like it's not like a big deal because nobody else is like wearing the shoe. You know what I mean? And they're not selling it like that.
I mean, at this point, like, even if they deem him ineligible, I mean, at this point, I mean, he's kind of shown.
Yeah. Also, you know, I mean, I don't know if it's true or not, but Allen's saying that he's not, like, he's pretty much a high school dropout. Like, Spire.
I read that.
Yeah, like, Spire is not even like a school. It's more of like.
It's like a hub for just. Yeah.
It's just an academy, pretty much.
And I guess it's one of those things is like, you have to have a parent that's got that game plan. It also goes back to that conversation. You remember we had the other night. It's like my cousin, like my cousin, he made it to the NBA. Shout out to Jody Meeks, 20. But anyways, whole point is like if your parents ain't making those sacrifices for you early, it's like it's kind of hard to say. Well, why weren't you doing more drills? Like, you know what I'm saying? It's like either you know how to capitalize on running more drills and, you know, finding the best, you know, of the best and, you know, techniques as far as like with YouTube. Now you can go on YouTube and find routes and basically
use the technology
that is there for you.
If you really want your child to succeed and
I also feel like
you gotta push them without actually driving them away from
the actual
sport, the actual level of the game.
True.
I feel like, honestly, that's not enough in a sense because you can be practicing all the drills and all that stuff and be like the coldest person on your team and in your conference, but if your conference then you're honestly not playing anybody.
Facts.
So I feel like in order, you have to do that, but you also got to go to competition where it's like you're not the top dog anymore.
Right.
That way where it's like you may be lacking right now, but you facing that competition is going to bring you up.
Right.
And then when you start playing other leagues, you're going to start dominating them.
In other words, he said it's like Dragon Ball Z. And it's
what?
Think about every time Goku got his ass. He didn't die. He got up all of a sudden and beat the brakes off somebody. I'm like, damn, dude, he just beat the dog.
And I guess
it
is really relatable because, I mean, like, even in that case scenario, like, my uncle, like, he made sacrifices to where my cousin could go to the proper school, you know, in order to be around the perfect, you know, scenario for better competition, for better scouting, for better recognition. So it's like, you're 100% right, because had they not moved, I don't know. You know what I'm saying? It's like, imagine, like, somebody from where I'm from, like, ain't no scouts going there. Like,
yes,
but, like, again, it just plays in the sports. Like, basketball, you need more exposure with more competition. Football, you don't need
stats.
that. Yeah, football, you don't need as much because you can see them film and you can be like.
Could you not just see them film with basketball as well?
Yeah.
I think every time something.
I feel.
Like, every time it just.
You can, but in basketball, it's like, see, in football, like, it's more like people on the team. So it's like, you're not really fighting for, like, a lot of roster spots. So you can just be like, there. But, like, in basketball, it's like you have to get the best of the best to help your program. In football, like, you have all these top 5-star recruits. Some of them ain't even playing until, like, their junior year. And you like, what happened to you, bro? Like, you was really cold.
That makes sense. And especially,
I agree and disagree. But
I mean, yeah.
Yeah, I guess because once again, it goes back to you're trying to put, I guess, the same scenario for two sports when it's like you do have to put them separate.
Different. With basketball, in my opinion, you have things like AAU and different things like that. So you going to
travel ball.
You're going to the scouts.
But in football, you have 7-on-7s.
No, but it doesn't work like a.
It's starting to now, though. Well, I mean, it's not on that level, but it's starting to.
So now you got to break apart the time. So never mind.
Because I guess, like, put it like this, what could have been, like, my class, I was 2013, you were, like, 2015. So it's like the opportunity changes over time.
Yeah, I mean, I graduated 2018, but, like, now it's like, it's kind of like AAU in a sense where it's like they're traveling and you have teams, like AAU teams, where it's like you can all, like, stack up together and just play 7-on-7, and then you get that exposure, and then they just come and watch you. Plus, I feel like, depending on, I ain't gonna lie, like,
I would also say
Smyrna,
that depends on your location.
Yeah. Because in Smyrna and, like, Murfreesboro, we're more of, like, a football town. So it's like you have scouts coming down here, and it's like, it may seem like Smyrna, I ain't gonna lie, they, like, trash right now, but it's like they're so good at recruiting. It's like they can get their best players offer like that. While as in, like, basketball, it's like we're not really known for basketball unless you're the top Blackman, Oakland, unless you those two teams, then you probably gonna get scouted.
Yeah.
Back to location. Location is an important thing because, and I studied on it because I actually had a flashback about some shit home, like, when it comes to location. So with me being from a small town, places and cities from a farther reach aren't going to travel for you unless you are a phenom. You remember what was it 2K 18 or not 18 11? It was like Phenom when you was playing. You got to create your character. They called you it was like Phenom or something, whatever it was. Long story short, you was the all-star talent, and everybody was coming to you, as opposed to that's never going to really that's not realistic.
Yeah, and I guess it's like, unfortunately, you're from one of those places that is in the South, but it's a city. And so it's kind of like Smyrna is so much bigger than like oh God, like where I'm from. Whoo, gracious! I mean, you could only imagine to not just only have a strip of like there's literally a strip. So it's like past the strip, there's like no like after that is roads. You know what I'm saying? There's no streets.
Roads. Bro, it's a church on every corner.
So it's like, exactly, and it's like you think about it, and it's like, how can I put my child in the best position to where either we're going to be stat padding and you're, you know, like I'm saying, once again, it goes back to the parents. If you can't give the knowledge to your child, or the coach can't give the knowledge to that particular player, like, hey, you need to be doing this, and this within the game. And that's why, like, separate coaches for each position is so important.
Yeah, but also I feel like honestly people just have to be more realistic, because it's like, depending on your sport and then like your weight, your height, it's like, if you playing basketball and you like realistically are like 5'6",
yeah,
like you can play up to the high school level, you can play college, but you have to be a dog. Like, you have to be really that good. But it's like, make it to the NBA, that's like really slim to none.
And see, that's also, like I'm saying, goes back into who put you into those sports. 9 times out of 10, your parents. So it's like, if you thinking like, okay, I'm 6'1" and my wife is 5'4", what type of body type is my child 9 times out of 10 going to have? And you can look at a body type, even if it's a kid. Maybe they look more like a little baseball player. Put them in, like, because 5'6", that's perfect for baseball. Honestly, it's like parents want to be in denial because everybody wants to have the next Michael. Everybody wants to have the next, this, that, and the third. Bro, Michael era is done, bro. We not even in LeBron era no more. We're trying to figure out what's going on with Kawhi and what is going on with Zion. At this point, Lonzo is like next chapter. So it's like pretty much every year, the next person could be the next big
thing.
And you could lose your spot so quick. Like Melo. Who thought we was going to be talking about Melo going back into the NBA this quick? I mean, honestly, like
Jello, he's just an afterthought right now. Markelle Fultz,
and then we got Carmelo Anthony. This man just went to freaking Blazers. Like, praise God, he's back in the league. But